What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blueblood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former unified heavyweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Andy Ruiz Jr. is now 35 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 6'2" with a 74-inch arm reach after he defeats in beautiful fashion heavyweight Cuban superstar title contender Luis King Kong Ortiz by unanimous decision. Luis Ortiz is now 33 wins, 3 losses, and no draws. Okay, Andy Ruiz, he dropped Luis Ortiz 3 times in this fight. Okay, and he put on a dazzling performance. Luis Ortiz, like I said, he wasn't as sharp, because he's aging. Let's be honest, right? He's definitely aging. But like I told you guys, Andy Ruiz hand speed, Andy Ruiz style is going to give Luis Ortiz problems. But at the same token, Luis Ortiz, being a southpaw at 6'4" with a 78-inch arm reach, he's going to give Andy Ruiz problems because he has, that Cuban pedigree of school of boxing. Okay, he has counterpunch ability, and he has tons of power in both his hands. Okay, Luis Ortiz has tons of power in both his hands. But I told you guys, Luis Ortiz now 33 wins, 3 losses, no draw, 28 big wins by way of knockout. Twice in his career he was knocked out. 43 years of age, 6'4" with a 78-inch arm reach. Okay, and so like I told you guys in my prediction video, I predicted that Andy Ruiz will win a 9th round knockout victory over Luis Ortiz. It didn't happen, but Andy Ruiz, he dropped him 3 times in this fight. And I knew that he would drop him, and I ultimately thought that he would stop him. Luis Ortiz's left eye was swollen very, very badly. And Andy Ruiz's hand speed gave Luis Ortiz tons and tons of problems. But the southpaw stance, the reach, and the ring IQ of Luis Ortiz kept Andy Ruiz from being as aggressive as he should have been or needed to be to close the show and get a knockout. So he just started playing it safe. And in him playing it safe, Luis Ortiz was winning rounds off his jab alone, okay, because he rendered Andy Ruiz inactive, okay. Andy Ruiz was hesitant. At times he would, have moments where he would, obviously get aggressive and take the openness that Ortiz gave him. But all too many times in this fight, Ortiz's stance, range, southpaw ability, and counterpunch ability, it kept Andy Ruiz hesitant to let his hands go. And so it made the fight closer than it should have been, in my opinion, because I thought that Andy Ruiz should have closed the show. I thought he should have got a knockout victory. But nonetheless, Andy Ruiz has very good counterpunch ability. He's just at a size disadvantage, okay? And an arm reach disadvantage. And he looked good tonight. Luis Ortiz, he didn't look bad tonight. It's just the style matchup, the fast hands, the counterpunch ability of Andy Ruiz. I knew, just basing it off of what I saw from Luis Ortiz's last fight with Charles Martin, where he was dropped in that fight. Charles Martin hand speed was giving him a problem. His counterpunch ability and his power was giving Ortiz a problem. But in true heavyweight fashion, Luis Ortiz landed one big left hand on Charles Martin in a bizarre turn of events. And Charles Martin completely froze, didn't know where he was at. His immediate reaction was very bad. And, Luis Ortiz, he closed the show. But leading up into that point, you can see the slippage. You can see the fact that he was brutally knocked out by Deontay Wilder twice. A lot was taken out of him. Not to take anything away from Andy Ruiz, but you can clearly see a lot was taken out of Luis Ortiz. And the style, I knew the style matchup of Andy Ruiz was going to be a problem for him because he shows slippage, right? And his reaction time is simply not there like it used to be. And so Andy Ruiz, with very fast hands, being reportedly, he's at 32, Ortiz is at 43. He's extremely younger than Luis Ortiz. He has just as much power, okay? And he has a very high ring IQ. So, I knew that was going to be a problem. So Andy Ruiz gets a deserving unanimous decision. I thought that if this was the first time in Andy Ruiz's career that he faced a southpaw as a professional, okay? So that speaks volumes that he had the success that he had facing the first southpaw of his career, and it being Luis Ortiz, arguably one of the greatest southpaw heavyweights in the history of the sport of boxing. And that's who your first southpaw is against. And you have this kind of performance. Again, the southpaw stance, the ring IQ, the boxing ability, the skill set of Luis Ortiz, it rendered Andy Ruiz inactive. So he wasn't very active because he couldn't find his range all the time, right? And because Luis is a major chess player, a master chess player, he used his as much as he can keep Andy Ruiz for as long as he can at bay and on the end of his punches in that distance. He did that, and that's when he had success, and he was racking up rounds. It wasn't the most impressive rounds. It wasn't like he did a lot, but he was racking up rounds, and it was because of his ability to nullify what Andy Ruiz was trying to do. So you got to give credit to Luis Ortiz for being a master chess player in this entire equation. And again, Andy Ruiz, shout out to both of these guys. They both exchanged some serious leather. I heard and saw people were saying that it was boring. It was only boring if you don't understand the sport of boxing. It's chess, not checkers, okay? So any wrong move can see either one of them brutally knocked out. As you saw Luis Ortiz on the canvas, every little mistake he made in the ring, Andy Ruiz capitalized on it, immediately pounced on it, and got the best of him and dropped him, right? So with that said, kudos to Andy Ruiz, kudos to Luis Ortiz. I think that Luis Ortiz still has a little bit something left in the tank, not at the very highest level, okay? I think on a lower level, he still can give young fighters problems. I would like to see him and Frank Sanchez, but I think the movement of Frank Sanchez, Cuban southpaw boxer, is going to be a problem for Luis Ortiz. But Andy Ruiz looks to fight Deontay Wilder in his next fight. Obviously, Deontay Wilder, he has a fight coming up October 15th against Robert Helenius. So he has to win that fight. And it looked like we're on the road to Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder. Okay, this was being talked about when Andy Ruiz shocked the world, upset Anthony Joshua June 1st of 2019, and became the first Mexican-born fighter to be a heavyweight world champion. There was talks that Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz fight for undisputed, and it didn't happen because Anthony Joshua had an immediate rematch clause. Luis Ortiz, got a second opportunity. Then Deontay Wilder moved on to fight Tyson Fury. Andy Ruiz went into the rematch with Anthony Joshua, and the rest is history. He lost. So with that said, I expect Deontay Wilder to knock out Robert Helenius at the Barclays Center October 15th. And then I believe we're going to see Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz Jr. in the next fight, possibly at the Staples Center, because it was a sold-out event. It didn't look like there was any seats in the house. Now, maybe in the upper deck there was availability, but as far as, what I could see, not being in the stadium, it looked pretty sold out, right? So he has a huge Mexican fan base, obviously, in the California West Coast area. Deontay Wilder has fought Luis Ortiz, in the Staples Center. So I can see, that fight taking place at the now Crypto Arena, Staples Center, formerly known as the Staples Center. So the fight went about just how I thought. I just thought that he was going to get a 9th round stoppage. And in that 9th round, he came out very aggressive, Andy Ruiz did, but he just didn't close the show, right? And again, that was because of the southpaw stance and the ring generalship of Luis Ortiz that kept him at bay and didn't allow himself to get knocked out or keep getting hit with the same punch, right? So it was an exciting fight, but it went just about how I planned. I think that Andy Ruiz, the length, the size, Deontay Wilder 6'7" with an 83-inch arm reach, that's going to be a major problem for him. He's quicker and faster than Anthony Joshua, and he has more power than Anthony Joshua. So I think that's going to render him inactive in that fight, and he might get clipped and hurt in that fight. But I think that's going to be exciting as well, with his ability, to let his hands go, put a combination together, and work his way on the inside. So I think he's going to make that interesting as well. So we got to see how this unfolds. But congratulations to Andy Ruiz. Again, went just about how I thought it was, except for the 9th round stoppage that I predicted. So can't wait to see what's next. Let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share your videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.